Hey, Chris here. I'm so excited to share today's conversation. But before we jump into it, I wanted to give a little bit of background into our guests. Today, we're talking to Jeff and Rhiannon, Dueling Pianos superstars. Jeff and Rhiannon have an awesome dueling pianos company that specializes in doing high-end private events for companies like Facebook, Microsoft, Amazon, Walmart, Alaska Airlines, Disney, NFL, all these awesome companies. And they have built a career for themselves doing this and traveling all over the world doing it. It's really awesome. Now, I met Jeff and Rhiannon many, many years ago when I was just starting out my career in music. They were the guest entertainers on a cruise ship, and I was a show band musician on the same cruise ship. We became fast friends, and it's really a testament to how important relationships are. Years later, when they were discovering a lot of success with their business doing dueling piano shows for corporate events like this, the need came up to have a full band, and they contacted me, and we've been doing that show together ever since. It's been over 10 years that we've been doing that show. Now, it has taken me personally all over the place. We've done shows in all sorts of different cities, different countries, different types of events for different size crowds. It's really been an awesome experience. But they, outside of that, do this show, just the two of them, all over the world. They are very successful, and they are booked constantly. They also do weddings and private events, so it keeps them very, very busy. And what I find to be most impressive is that they charted this course themselves. They created something totally unique that fit their life, and I really find that to be very inspiring. Their show is a completely interactive show. There's really nothing like it. Everything that happens on stage is by request. So the audience has request slips, and they submit them right on the piano, and the whole show is generated this way. And even doing it with a full band, it's still totally improvised. And they're very interactive, very engaging, and very fun. So the show is never dull, never boring, and very high energy. So it's pretty cool. And now they've been doing these shows virtually, so that you can text your requests, and they're going to play them for you right in your home with people from all over the world. It's really cool. And they've been doing that every Friday. Then people can just jump in and participate. So it's an awesome, unique experience, and they're always trying to find new ways to bring music to people. So I'm going to stop talking, and we're going to jump right into this conversation with Jeff and Rhiannon. I hope you enjoy.
All right. So we, I believe, are live. Yes, we are. Cool. So we're not like live, like this isn't going out anywhere, but we are
We're recording.
We're recording officially now. So just a little bit of background here. Obviously, we've known each other for a long time, and I'm going to put some of that into the interview. But we met how long ago? 10 years ago?
We met in 2007, Chris.
Oh my God, 13 years ago. So I was not even legally able to drink at the bar, and I think this summer is when I turned 21.
I think we celebrated your 21st birthday.
I think we were with you.
Mm-hmm.
We did. So for everybody, just kind of give, I know the whole story, but let's pretend that I don't know any of the story, but the walkthrough of your personal kind of journey to what you do now. The short
nutshell version.
Nutshell version. This could take hours.
Yeah. Well, Jeff and I both, we met performing for Disney Cruise Line back in the day. And
in the early 2000s.
In the early 2000s. And we were both performing on that ship, and that's when we met and fell in love. And so we decided that we wanted to do start working more together, and we formed our business.
Yeah, formed our business in 2004, 2005, and started marketing we had done lots of different kinds of musical shows up to this point. We had headlined on a couple cruise ships. We played in clubs. Rhiannon had done some dancing, lots of kind of entertainment things, but we decided to start a business with us as the entertainment, doing a show for corporate events and private parties.
Right, and we started the Dueling Pianos concept as a team on cruise ships. We started that on Royal Caribbean, and then, like Jeff said, we made that into a headline show for Holland America. And then we thought, let's give this corporate world a chance, and it just exploded for us.
What year was that? That was like 2006, 2007?
I think it was, yeah. And then we started doing full-time corporate events in around 2008.
And since then, we've performed regularly for many of the top companies in the world, like Microsoft and Amazon and Facebook, and travel all over the place and just have a blast doing it.
And we do about 50 to 60 events every year.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's amazing. And so kind of like the trajectory of this went from, I mean, we could go all the way back. I know, Jeff, maybe you want to share just a little bit of prior to you and Rhiannon meeting, you were a piano man.
Yeah.
The real
The original piano man.
With a piano man. I started my professional career in Florida, actually, at Disney, singing and playing piano. I was in some quartets, and I did some keyboard work at Epcot Center, and that was kind of the start for me. And I'd gone to school for music. I'd gotten a degree in vocal performance, a bachelor's, and went and started at Disney, and then did that for a few years before, as Rhiannon said, we met on the cruise ship, and we did that for a few years, but also to kind of like, as far as my personal journey went, I also went back later in life. I got a master's in music too, just because I wanted to have that much more knowledge to apply to our professional life. And I'm really happy that I did that as well.
And your degree is in?
It is a Master of Arts in music, in commercial arranging.
No, that's awesome. That's super awesome. Okay, so now into some fun questions here. Was there an artist, person, or moment that inspired you to become a musician? Both of you.
For me, it was my mom. She is a piano teacher, and I had no choice to take piano. And also, I did a lot with my church too. Like that was probably where I was the most exposed to music, was through my church. And then my mom made me take piano lessons, and then like community theater was really where I just was like, this is what I want to do for my life.
And for me, like Billy Joel was my God when I was a kid. I mean, I loved his music. When I heard him playing piano and singing, I was like, I have to do this. And then the other big moment for me was while I was working for Disney. I walked into a piano bar one night and actually saw somebody performing live, taking requests and singing to people and kind of interacting and stuff. And I remember that moment where I said to myself, I am made for this. This is what I need to be doing.
Now, okay, so from the first moment, the Billy Joel moment, how old were you then?
Oh gosh, I was 8, maybe.
Okay, and then this other moment where you saw people doing requests, how old were you?
Oh, I was. That's a good question, Chris. I was probably early 20s.
Okay, so that's like quite a journey.
Yeah.
But also, Jeff was, if I can speak for you for a second, like in growing up in his high school, he was the piano man. Like I
was the guy at the parties who played the piano and sang and stuff.
And every concert, school concert, whatever, that was his thing. So that was a big part of his identity, even up till that moment. He was like, oh, I can make a living maybe doing this.
Yeah. So that's what I was going to ask is, before you knew what the avenue was, you knew you were going to be in music.
I did, absolutely. And what I brought up a minute ago about finding that club in my early 20s, that's the moment I realized that there was an avenue for me to do it professionally and make a living off of it.
That's an important.
Very important. Like everybody has their dreams of going to Broadway and singing and doing all these fantastical careers, which are great. A lot of people tend to think that there's only a few of those avenues with which to pursue, and as a kid, Broadway is obviously number one, with rock band being a close second, being a big popular rock band writing your own music. But seeing that made me realize how many more ways there were to make a career out of music.
Absolutely. That's perfect. Awesome. So this is the Spinal Tap question. If you were not in music, what would you be doing?
Well,
selling shoes?
I actually kind of took a different route in my life. I have a degree in economics and math.
With a minor in French.
Yeah. So I took the safe route because I actually wanted to be a performer, but didn't think it was a practical thing to do.
Yeah.
And so if I weren't, I would probably be in business consulting.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
that's fun. It could be fun.
That was my career path. Yeah, that was like my thing. That was my backup plan, if you will, was business consulting. So, and you?
And for me, what I thought I would be doing, if not music, has kind of changed over the years. But one thing has kind of remained, and that's been always my my love of building things and working with my hands. So I think I might have been an engineer, and to be more specific, an engineer in the auto world, because I'm a big car guy. Mechanical engineer.
Yeah, I could totally see that. Absolutely.
He'd also made a really good doctor too.
Yeah, I love that too. Yeah, that's true. I would have enjoyed that.
God, my backup plan was going to be you know, as funny as it sounds, I thought that there was no way I would be able to be a performer, so I would have to go back to school for something totally different and unrelated to music.
Totally. And what would that have been, you think?
I was going to go back for ethnomusicology, which is the study of music as it relates to culture, which I still think is super cool.
Yeah.
But I like performing.
Yeah, us too.
So that right into the next question. What's your favorite aspect of music? When we talk about performing, putting shows together, writing, recording, I mean, I think I know the answer, but go ahead.
Well, I don't know if we're going to say the same thing,
Probably.
but it's really simple for me. And that is that just the joy it brings to people, and how much it can move someone emotionally, and how much it can create positivity and love and good vibes. That's the one thing I love most about music.
Yeah, my favorite aspect, bar none, is the performance part of it. You know, just being able to share music with a live audience.
Oh yeah.
Or a virtual audience.
These days, yeah.
But just what you get back from people, you know, sharing music, whether you are sharing your own original recording, or you're interpreting somebody else's recording, it is bearing your soul, and it is an amazing thing to bear your soul and have people like that and receive such positivity back.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, and now for you guys, when you're doing songs that mean so much to people.
Yes.
You know, and so they have these very personal attachments to these songs.
Yeah, and then you sing it in front of them, and it just moves them so much, and I just love that. Which, of course, is why one of the big reasons I feel that our show is so successful, because it just kind of activates that nostalgia and happiness in people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and the all request aspect of it, they feel like they are invested. You know, it's their.
Oh,
absolutely.
I mean, when somebody requests "Don't Stop Believin'," and you say Chris from Baltimore has requested "Don't Stop Believin'," and then you play their song, the fulfillment that gives that particular audience member is just it's really wild.
It's unique too. It's great.
Yeah. Now, with that said, post quarantine, there are songs that we've played so many times, and you've played many more times than that you were probably sick of. Would you now be excited to go and play those songs that you were maybe overplayed?
You know, Chris, I'll be honest with you. We are never sick of performing a song, and here's why.
Okay.
When you look at it from an audience's perspective, and this is the 1000th time that I've sung "Don't Stop Believin'," but I look out in that crowd and people are screaming and excited. How could I be sick of playing that song?
Yeah.
That's my theory.
I love that. And when you guys do a live performance, how do you measure whether it's successful or not? What indicators or factors are you looking for?
Well, I mean, I think that a lot of it has to do with how engaged our audience is, you know, and to us, a successful show is just that. It's kind of like we don't get on stage and have the understanding of, hey, we're about to do our show. It's time for all of you to watch us. It's more, we come on stage and say, what can we do for you? Please be a part of this with us. Request songs, sing along, clap, sometimes dance. And when we can have that return from the audience, that is a successful night for us.
And that is what another unique thing about the Dueling Pianos concept is, that it is so fully interactive that the music is a tool to make people like play along with us, basically. And so the audience is just as important in our show, the most important thing of our show. And the music just is a tool that helps us like engage the crowd.
Yep.
That's awesome. Do you feel, this is an important question, do you feel like your progression into what you're doing was something that you just naturally came step by step by step and everything made sense? Or do you feel like you guys sat down and really mapped out, this is where we want to be and this is how we're going to get there?
I would say kind of a combo of both. I would say
Yeah.
we had an ultimate goal sort of, and that goal is to make a living as an entertainer. And then all of the things just sort of fell into place. Like, you know, I started off as a singer and a dancer in a Disney cast. And then I went from that to being the singer of a rock and roll band. And I went from that to then dueling pianos. And it just, everything, like we both grabbed every opportunity that we could and didn't say no to things that maybe were like at first like, I've never tried this before. I'm just going to go for it. And if it fails, well, I learned from it.
And
right?
with each of those decisions comes, as you know too, Chris, comes a ton of practicing and preparation. You know, whenever you choose to do anything in the performance world, you know, the amount of work that goes on behind the scenes before you're on stage doing it is probably 20-fold to what people are seeing for those few minutes that you're on stage doing a show.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's the 10,000 hours plus.
That's right.
Okay, so now you guys are doing these Friday night shows where you're streaming a live, interactive, all request experience that anybody can participate in, right? Anybody is welcome to come to.
Public show.
Yep.
Yeah, tell me more about this.
Well, it's something that we started doing at the beginning of all of our craziness in the world. So we started back in March thinking that it would only be a few shows. You know, none of us really knew the impact that all of this would have on our lives, the longevity of it. So what started with the idea of a few shows has turned into 21 shows. And it's every Friday. You can find the links on our Facebook page and our YouTube page. It's something that's just gotten more and more fun and more viewership as the weeks have gone by. It's been great. And I don't know if we said this already, but it is still the all request show. We have a dedicated text line that people can text their requests in, and we ask them to tell us their name and where they're from. And that is kind of how we engage the crowd virtually. You know, it's been working really well.
So, I mean, it's like Jeff said, it's still that full on, like we are in real time taking your requests and doing it. And then furthermore, we engage with things like the chat stream on YouTube and Facebook.
So people can ask us questions
and talk to each other too. So it's become almost a little bit of a family each week of people that like have never met. We've never met a lot of some people that watch our show are have seen us live that are fans of ours, but a lot of people found us online and they just like, it's just been the coolest thing that we have these fans that have only ever seen our virtual show. And
that's crazy to think that. It's
really been kind of, that aspect has been super cool.
Yeah.
And we also do things like we've done some theme nights. Last week we did a 60s/Beatles night. We've done some 80s night. We did
70s night.
We did one hit wonder night. So we try to kind of mix it up each week to make it exciting.
Yeah, that's awesome. Now I know you guys were exploring doing this for kids as well, right?
Yeah, we've done 2 kids shows. Yeah. That's like awesome. Afternoon kid shows. And it was really fun. We did it was like a 1 p.m. show or something, and we sang, you know, Baby Shark, lots of Disney. It was really kind of it was more of a younger kids thing, like I would say like 10 years old and younger, but it was cool.
My kids listen to the same songs over and over and over and over and over and over.
What are their favorite songs right now?
Old MacDonald is just on repeat. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star I have heard so many times, and they have like their own squishy protected iPad, you know, so they just.
What about Baby Shark? Are they a Baby Shark?
Not so. Baby Shark, when they were very, very little, they liked, but they haven't necessarily gotten back into that. It's really the Old MacDonald and If You're Happy and You Know It, that's huge.
Oh yeah. Totally.
So, but those songs are only 15 seconds, so every 15 seconds it starts over.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah. So those are awesome things people can check out. Now, when COVID is over, what does the normal show look like when it's an actual corporate experience? What are some of the options that people have?
Yeah, so one of the great things about our show is that it is very malleable to different situations. But if I had to pick a typical show, what we do for a corporate event or a private party is we are the entertainment after dinner or awards or sort of any of that type of thing. And we do usually about a 90-minute interactive show. We pass out request slips to all of the tables so people can write down their songs, bring them up to us. We play rock and roll pop songs, 1950s all the way up until today's hits. And then for some of our bigger events that Chris knows about, we have what's called the dance party package. And we do the first half of the evening is the traditional dueling piano show. And the second half, we bring our very talented musicians up to the stage. And then we dance the night away.
Yeah.
When people think of dueling pianos, I don't think they understand how much of a rock show it can really be.
Yes.
Like I've worked up some of the deepest sweats of my life doing the 90 minutes.
It is. I mean, I think oftentimes when people hear pianos too, they think we're sitting down and playing either classical music
or like
jazz,
just Billy Joel and Elton John, right? But what they don't realize is that our show, we will go all the way over to Def Leppard and AC/DC and do songs like that too, and it's just so much fun.
It's really cool to hear these songs on the piano that aren't piano.
Oh, that's the best part of it, is when I'm in the audience watching and I hear Bohemian Rhapsody with just two people. Or you know, or God, even some of the funnier hip hop stuff or some of the Miley Cyrus stuff that you would never understand how it's going to translate, and it becomes like a really creative interpretation.
It does, and awesome. It's a good combo of like legit Billy Joel, Elton John stuff mixed with the Spice Girls.
And to be clear, and to say this yet once more, we are not choosing these songs.
No.
The reason why we do these songs is that we get them written down on request slips. Britney Spears and Miley Cyrus.
We would never voluntarily do Ice Ice Baby.
No, exactly.
But if you request it, we will do it.
That's exactly right.
Which is awesome that you can do it, first of all. But what I also love about that, having obviously seen the show so many times, for our kids, for the students, how did you get to be able to express yourself and feel comfortable doing some of these things? You know, I mean, how do you get on? I mean, it's scary to get on stage. It's scary to get on stage and play anything. But to get on stage and be silly and be okay with that, or be ridiculous and be okay with that, how do you step into that? How do you learn that?
Well,
you say that
a lot of this goes back to what we discussed a couple minutes ago about just the amount of time you have to put in before you get on stage to be comfortable and confident on stage to be able to do it. It requires a ton of music theory knowledge, a ton of practice, to a point where you're not frightened to get a song that you haven't done for a few months, because you'll be able to pull it together.
Or have never done, and you just look up the words and BS it on the spot.
Your intuition is at like a level to where you trust. You have,
That's right.
Yes,
That's
and
right.
you also have to be okay not being perfect too. It's in our world. The audience knows that we're all just in this together, and we're figuring the show out as we're going. It's so off the cuff, and it's okay to make a mistake now and then.
And we're not going to play the guitar solos of a song. We're not going to play the third verse or the outro, and audiences are fine with that. They know that we're all just flying by the seat of our pants together, having a wonderful time.
But to Jeff's point, to be able to get to the point where you can fly by the seat of your pants is so much practice and having that confidence within yourself too. Like you said, it's very hard to get up on stage. The first time I got up to do this, my hands were shaking so hard I can't even. I don't know how I got through the night. And but the more I did it, the more comfortable it became, the more relaxed I became, the more willing to take risks it happened. But it doesn't start immediately. It is the more you can get up in front of people and
Yes.
perform,
The
whether
easier
it's your cat and dog at the first, and then do a show for your neighbors, or whatever it is, just getting up and the exposure to, then suddenly you're able to have a audience of 2,500 people and not be nervous to do it. So it's gradual.
Yeah, it's definitely gradual.
Yeah.
And one more quick thing about, maybe more of a technical way that we've been able to do what we do. When I walked into that piano club and saw those guys performing, and as I said before and said I meant to do this, I walked up to one of the guys and said, how do I do this?
Yeah.
And he said a lot of the same things that Rhiannon just said, but he also said, learn 60 songs and then come back to me. Like the top 60 requests. That's where I started. I started with those 62 songs, came back, showed him, and then just started building from that point on, to the point now where Rhiannon and I probably know thousands of songs, right?
And I think one of the key things that Jeff just said is that he wasn't afraid to go up and get advice and ask people, he's doing what I want to do. How do I do that? Soak in that advice, talk to people,
So this was a huge mentor for you.
For me, absolutely. Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Huge for me. And
you've had a few different ones throughout. It's not just one guy. Jeff we both have listened to so many different people, like how to improve yourself.
And that's the other thing, Chris, I would say too, we have not been able to achieve the success that we have by ourselves. Nobody nobody can do it all by themselves, especially in such a difficult industry, that we are in to be successful. We've gotten help from so many wonderful people, and humility and kindness and positivity go so far.
And the will, and Chris, you were like the perfect example of this
perfect
too, of
example.
Just like, one, show up on time, you do your work. You say you be there when you say you're going to be there. You show up with a good attitude and a willingness to do it, and that will take you so far.
Yeah, that does go far, and you'd be surprised that that's not just the norm, and
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Don't be the stereotypical musician. Like, be the responsible musician.
Right.
Well, so for the very last question. This could be a quick one. Favorite show or place of all time that you've played?
Ooh.
I'm gonna go with one that we did with Chris, just because.
Okay.
Which one?
It was so good. Well, the most epic.
Pick one and I'll pick one.
Okay, this is my answer, but just between us, like, the most epic was, come on, Shaq. We shared the stage with Shaq. Like,
that was pretty awesome, and that was in the Bahamas. That's another thing people don't understand is you've been traveling all over the world.
Yes. Yeah. We get flown all over the world to do our job, which is just amazing.
Yeah.
But I'm going to officially say it was the corporate event we did in Banff up in Canada. Where the Fairmount Springs, because the location was probably one of the most beautiful places I've ever been. And also the show, it was for, I think, 1,000 people. And it was just an epic show in an epic location with like some of our best friends. So it was awesome.
Yeah, that's up there.
Yeah.
It's hard to choose one. If I were to add one, because I think that's mine too. Really up there for me. But if I were to add another one, honestly, whenever I get the chance to perform in Pebble Beach, it's just really special. The Pebble Beach Golf Club.
Oh yeah.
We did
You've done a couple there. What's the number one?
The AT&T Pro.
Yeah.
The AT&T Pro-Am. When they do that, I just love that location. Just incredible.
That was we did that last year. It was in February, I think, actually, like right before all of this.
And
it was amazing.
I just have to add one more.
Yeah.
The venue that we play in Switzerland every year.
Oh, yeah.
In Lausanne, Switzerland, which is about 45 minutes east of Geneva on the lake. That club there is so much fun.
You know which one I thought you were going to say? Sorry, Chris. I thought you were going to say the Museum of in DC. What's the
Oh,
museum?
the Air and
Where,
Space Museum.
because we performed below
A space shuttle.
a space shuttle.
Where our stage was right below the space shuttle. at
Yeah,
the
that's awesome. You've had some crazy venues. The NFL stuff when we were at the EMP museum, like that was awesome.
Just now Mopop.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry, I'm behind by like 6 years, but
And all those shows that we've done at CenturyLink Field at the Seahawks Stadium, that's been a ton of fun. A lot of Microsoft shows there. It's just, there are so many wonderful ones, Chris. But I think Rhiannon really pegged it when she said Fairmont Springs that we did with you. There was something
magical about that one.
That was another level.
Yeah.
I think Facebook showed me that was 6 years ago this morning or something.
Oh yeah?
Yeah,
gosh.
it was 2014, I think. Because I lost all of my pictures from that summer. Like I don't have any of them. Jeff has some, but all of my pictures are ones that Glenn took, and he was really into that weird like Hipstamatic app. So everything is like a weird.
And Chris, you remember too, that was 3 separate shows.
Yeah.
And each show was 1,000 people, 1,000 different people every show. And you and Glenn and that bass player Jeff played like the background music during dinner.
Yeah, we played the walk-up music for their
and the walk-up music, right?
Yeah.
Right.
And then that was the one where we figured out that latency is real. And then,
that's right. That's right. Where you walked off the stage.
We went to the other side stage.
Yeah, Chris went to the other side stage, which was a good like 50, 60 feet away from us to do, to play guitar because you were wireless. And it was just, Chris really gets into the show, which we love. But Chris didn't have ears in, so he was listening to the main PA. So because sound travels at 660 meters per second, it was off big time and hilarious. It was brief though, Chris. Don't feel bad. It was very brief.
Was that the show that you had this isn't going to be part of the interview. That you had all the cougars like falling at your feet? Was that? No, that was a different one.
No, somebody threw a jacket on your guitar.
Oh no, that was Walmart.
Oh, that was Walmart. That was Walmart.
The worst show of all.
Oh my God.
No, there was one where like there was this group of like older women, and this one woman got up on stage and she was like
grinding,
tackle you.
I remember this, but I can't remember where that was.
I don't think it was Banff either.
Yeah.
I don't think it was Banff either.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's actually happened, not like that, but a couple times where we have the audience members.
Chris, do you have a favorite show that you've done with us?
I have a couple, but the Banff experience,
the whole thing,
the whole experience is unbeatable just because of so many things. But as far as just a show, I mean, we've had a couple with Glenn where we were just dialed in and on fire.
Yeah.
Troy's more new, and we're still kind of dialing that in. But by that point, we had done so many shows together with that particular lineup that we were on. I can't remember where we were, but we've had a couple where like we all were like, oh yeah.
I feel like one of them was when we were on the beach.
Yes.
In Cabo.
Oh gosh.
Yes. We had a great show.
Oh, that
for
show.
Pioneer. That
for
one.
Pioneer.
I just remember like it was kind of another magical. Also the venue was amazing too.
The stage was on the sand.
And I remember I was playing on John Legend's piano.
Well, I hope that you enjoyed that conversation with Jeff and Rhiannon Dueling Pianos. You can find them online by just going into Google and typing in Jeff and Rhiannon Dueling Pianos. They're pretty easy to find. And they do a virtual show every Friday that you can participate in by just going to YouTube or Facebook and looking up Jeff and Rhiannon Dueling Pianos. That will come up, and send some text, hear your favorite songs, and enjoy. We'll be doing many more of these, so stay tuned.